It might be worth keeping our new lord nearby Durthu and just like have them double team stuff, because that will level him up quite quickly. But at the same time, I brought him over to Wurtbad to sort out the vampiric corruption, so I think I might have to leave him there for now. Our technology is complete, and trait gained engineer for Durthu, which is nice. It looks like the vampire counts destroyed the Von Carsteins, so that is Helm Gorst going ahead and wrecking them. Durthu is actually not replenishing as quickly as I thought he would. We might just have to chill for a couple turns, but over here at Wurtbad you can see the public orders dropping pretty damn quick, so I'm going to march Desolate into this province so that we can get the extra untainted there. It's going to go down to 11%. Problem is, as soon as we move Desolate out without destroying the moot, we are going to be in a bit of a predicament. We can global recruit Treekin while we're waiting. It is going to take 2 turns for us to get the job done here in terms of replenishment. So we may as well just build the Treekin in the meantime. And then we can move on to Grinstad. Put out some research available. Could increase the global recruitment capacity, but not sure I'm going to do that. The extra income reports 400% is nice. Like, Hoeth, Lord of Wisdom, is the only one we can do at the moment without spending Amber or building a building. So that's everything done. So Aveland will be destroyed soon. We will go to Grenstad, wipe it out. Then we will destroy Calacan, move back to the Oak of Ages, and sort out the next level of the Oak of Ages. Thanks to everyone who come to watch, by the way. Quite a lot of you watching today, which is nice to see. If you're new to the streams, again, welcome. I'm going to be streaming every day. I normally start around 10:30 GMT, maybe a bit sooner sometimes. And we normally go on for about 4 hours. I also release 3 videos a day. Normally a lot of them are repeated content from the streams, just sort of uploaded as bite-sized VODs for people who can't catch up with the streams that easily. Mission failed to raid Grenstad. We didn't get around to doing that quick enough. Defeat a force belonging to the enemies of Widroth, which is Beastman or Crooked Moon. We're not actually at war with either of them. So that's not going to get done. But Katra is... wow. He is able to level up, and he can get 30% weapon strength. That's insane. He can also get an extra 15% hit points. He's going to be pretty badass, I'll tell you that much. I didn't think these little branch wraiths would be so strong, but there we go. So one more turn, he'll be fully replenished. We'll have his Treekin there. Strathleith has leveled up, and we're going to give him the campaign map movement range. Might also just give him Nature's Salve just to stack with his already +10 untainted in the local province. I should probably do the same for Durthu actually. give him the Nature's Salve, because just having all of our armies have that will definitely help us out with Vampiric Corruption and Chaos Corruption in general throughout the rest of the game. But again, one more turn and we will move on. Philip saying, hello, found a stream about Warhammer and joined. Well, welcome. Good to have you. And Revan the Grey talking about rather playing elves than humans in a fantasy setting. Yeah, I definitely agree. I really like elves, as you can probably tell by the fact that I've done High Elves, Dark Elves and Wood Elves as my 3 Warhammer 2 campaigns. I will be moving on to other things as well. Ooh, that's nice. Non-aggression pact. Yes, please. With Torgovan. That's going to help us improve our relations no end, which will eventually lead to a trade agreement and a defensive alliance and a confederation, which will be great. Nice. It's good that they offered me that. I'm going to have to look at my diplomacy in the next turn, I think, because we probably unlocked a lot more trade options. And our quest to have 3 Treekin units in Durthu's army is complete. So what's the next part? Move any character to Val's Anvil. Okay. Move towards Grenstad then. They're going to be building up their army there, and we're just going to destroy them. And we're going to jump into our diplomacy and see if there's anyone else we can trade with at the moment. Doesn't look like there is just yet. I think the main reason is because there are mountains between our main capital area and the rest of our provinces. So even though Nuln is next to Altdorf, it doesn't actually unlock our trade, because we probably need to own like Paravon and Helmgart before that happens. So that's kind of annoying. We're kind of in a pretty bad position. The only people we can trade with is Paravon, because they are right next to our main province. So yeah, there's that, which kind of sucks. But there we go.
Need me? You have been granted access to
the forest. A traitor stands before me.
I don't like how Orion calls us a traitor all the time. It's rude. Let's move on. We'll destroy Grenstad. Borderlow hanging out. I think it might be worth going and taking Karak Asgaraz again, just to knock out the Crooked Moon, so they aren't an issue anymore. Destroying any nations, I think, in Mortal Empires is just a good idea, because having less turn timers on the end turn is just so much more preferable. These end turns take a blimmin' long time, especially in comparison to the original Warhammer and the Warhammer 2 Vortex campaigns. Okay, we're done. Brutish Overseer. Extra construction costs for all buildings in all regions. Lovely. So this is going to probably be an auto-resolve. Goodbye to Averland. We're going to raise that, and we are going to occupy it afterwards, because that gives us the most cash. We're also going to get a ton of replenishment, because we already have the Waystone here. So Averland is dead. Loads of people killed in battle there. And on top of that, Durthu gets his bonus level, which is great. We're going to continue with Forest Raw All of these are fantastic because they affect Durthu himself. So before we go towards like Violent Delights and get him the plus 30% weapon strength on top of the 550, we can get it from the swinging bells here as well, which is just great. We get the Asray Lookout built. Strasslaith has managed to sort out our public order here. At Kemperbad, vampiric corruption is actually going up. We should probably take Talabek land actually. That depends how big Talabheim is in general. Look.
Yes.
I think they only have one province. Yeah, so we should be able to just kill them off, I think. I might do that as well. Let's move on to the next turn. We'll move on to Migdal Mongol Barak, I think. I'm just going to attack Kalakan straight off the bat. The other thing I was thinking about doing was, well, watching a Ryan destroy the Beastman first, but no, other than that, creating the buildings that reduce recruitment cost, and then with Strasslaith, our new lord, we can build into his army. Like if we just replace all the waystones with the ones that reduce recruitment cost, we get like minus 90% recruitment cost if there's like a province with 3 buildings there. And we can definitely do that, I think, in Averland. Or at least there'll be 2, so we'll be like minus 60%, which is pretty good for the global recruitment at least. The other people we have to be a little bit worried about is the vampires. I feel like the vampires kind of hate us right now. We could maybe invest in the technology to make vampires like us. Again, it's all to do with just like being able to pick your own fights rather than having them picked for you. So going for the, what is it? Nethu, Keeper of the Last Door. That's actually quite a good one to get anyway, because we get extra income from raising settlements and income from post-battle loot. I think I might just get that straight away. We'll go back to Hoeth, Lord of Wisdom, straight after. It only costs 1 amber to do. It's pretty nuts. We need another turn to fully replenish, which kind of sucks, but there we go. Clay Pit might be nice if we want to get more trade later on. But what I was talking about was these world route pathways, the minus 30% recruitment cost for local armies. If you get that both in Averheim and in Gronstad, we can just drop or bring down Strasslaith into Averheim quick, recruit him some troops, and then move back up. But that's going to be what we do when we actually have a serious surplus of cash, because at the moment it's probably not the best idea. So in the meantime, I am just going to go for another waystone there. Waystones everywhere until you know that they are secure. They're never really secure, but there you go. Revan says, are you going to stick with only Glade Guard for range or get some Deepwood Scouts or Waywatchers? We will definitely delve into getting some Deepwood Scouts, but maybe not so many Waywatchers as normal. Like in the other Wood Elf campaign, I was playing as the Elves, so Waywatchers didn't cost Amber, but in this, Waywatchers cost Amber, so we're going to have a lot less of them. We're probably still going to get some because they're so strong, but yeah, it's going to be limited. We're going to be focusing a lot more on like Treekin and Dryads, and just Tree Men in general. We're probably going to end up having like armies of like 3 Tree Men, 3 Treekin, and then like a bunch of Dryads with a few Archers, and that'll be like our main armies. It'll be really, really badass. Like, those Tree Men do a lot of damage in battle, they really do. It's like, they're like giants, but they actually have decent leadership. Varg declared war on Talabek land. That's not very nice to see, actually. What's happening with our relation here, then? It's improving from minus 51 to minus 26, and they hate us because of aversion and the fact that we're a great power. Right, let's go crush Migdal Vongelbark. They are actually allied with the Border Princes and Clan Angrand. Border Princes probably wouldn't join. They're at war with Clan Skyri. Maybe we don't attack them then. Maybe we just destroy the vampires. Bit worried about them attacking me, so maybe we can get extra relations with dwarves. Is that something that's possible? That would require Assyrian the Creator. We need to get like Kurnos the Hunter. But that requires us to unlock the Temple of Kurnos, which I don't believe we have just yet, because we built instead the Temple of Anathrima, which increases our income from post-battle loot. So it might be worth just changing the building so that we can unlock Kurnos the Hunter and then changing it back. Because otherwise we're kind of wasting turns where we could be unlocking like Lilith the Maiden and Cain the Bloody-Handed God. Actually, never mind. We can upgrade Argwylon, which is something we're definitely going to do. But I think actually you can only have one of these in each settlement. So yeah, we're going to have to change that. Yeah, I'm going to change that. We're going to delete it and we're going to get the one that unlocks the technology. Okay, we're not going to attack the dwarves because they have too many allies. And I don't want to be at war with Clan Angrand if I don't have to as well. So the only thing now then is jumping back across towards the Waterfall Palace and maybe just destroying the Crooked Moon at Kalak Azgaraz. That's something that I guess we can do, and upgrade the Oak of Ages while we're here. We'll do all that. Cool. Evan says the treekins just seem to have a lot of health but never do damage. Yeah, that is true. The melee attack is pretty damn low, but they are beefy units. So if you do have just some archers with them, they can hold the line for you for a very long time. They also just like sponge like damage just in general really well, so the rest of your units can do the damage. Like if you have big treemen with them, the treekin will just be there to sort of hold the front line for you while the treemen do the damage and so on. Philip says, I need to find a good Warhammer player that does campaigns. Most people don't. So subbed. Awesome, man. Welcome to the channel. Thanks for the sub. Much appreciated. Yeah, and unfortunately, Philip, I don't really play legendary campaigns. Main reason isn't because they're too difficult. It's because they're too tedious, and they're not actually that fun to watch. So there's that. I just don't find them very fun to watch at all. Like I've watched some myself, and I just find that you've got to be like so like overly careful with everything you do, and it just kind of takes the fun out of it. Like very hard can get tedious as it is, especially with like the start of this campaign, for example. I spent like 4 turns just sitting and doing nothing because that's all I could do. Quite frustrating, but let's see if we can get further with Durthu using the march here. Looks like Crooked Moon's building a couple of armies there, but we should be able to just crush them with Durthu. Philip says, why does Waterfall something have so many build slots? It's because it's one of the main Wood Elf settlements. So with the Wood Elves, what they do is they rely on Waterfall Palace, Val's Anvil, Crag Halls of Findal, and the Kingsglade. Oak of Ages doesn't give you anything. And from those 4 settlements, that's your entire building of any armies. You can obviously use global recruitment, but every other settlement that owned by the Wood Elves only has an Azraith Lookout or one of 4 other buildings. And that's just how the Wood Elves work. Basically, like late game, the idea is that your inner settlements will all contain these ones, the foraging growths, and they improve the income from all buildings faction-wide by 2%. And imagine you have like 50 settlements late game with all of those. That boosts the income of things like this vineyard, which generates 1,000 income. It will be like 2,000 income, for example, if there's like another 100% bonus. So that's basically how it works. Stresslathe just chilling in Wetbad. We're actually sorting out the public order there now, which is nice. Untainted still going up. We're going to ignore that upgrade. We have, I think, moved Durthu already. How far is he? He's probably got like 2 more turns, right? Until he hits Karakazgraz. They're going to probably recruit 2 armies in the meantime. Ah, yes, that's a good point. Doug says, are you going to build that shrine for tech? I should have definitely done that. The dwarves have declared war on me, though. So we got that to deal with. Looks like our armies were, or our enemies were picked for us in the end. Fortunately, I think it's only the dwarves who are at war with us now. Rather than all of those other nations that it could have potentially been. But at Waterfall Palace, we do definitely need to build that building to unlock the technology. Thank you, Doug, for reminding me. Let's just skip all this movement because I don't think there's anything else we need to really watch out for. And Kalakern here, they must have actually been confederated because they didn't have many troops. So I'm kind of feeling like Migdal Vongol Barak and the other 2 settlements there are actually pretty undefended. So we're probably just going to walk back with Durthu and start attacking the dwarves. Right, Argwylon's going to have a rebellion, but that's perfectly fine. So we want the Temple of Kernos. And Durthu is going to jolly on towards Kalakern. And there's not an army here, so next turn we might be able to actually just attack them straight away. Now, since I don't want to waste turns not doing stuff, I might get this Math Landlord of the Deeps just so that our diplomatic relations with Southern Realms and Norscan tribes is increased over time. It's going to take us 2 turns to build this building, so we might have a turn where we're not actually researching anything, because I think getting Atharti or Hukon the Sunderer or Anathrema is all pretty useless right now. Maybe not so much Anathrema, because the extra missile damage and melee attack when fighting against Beastmen Warheads is actually really nice. We'll see. We don't need it yet though, because we're not fighting any Beastmen, so that'll do. Imminent Rebellion we can ignore, since we have a very nice garrison in Argwylon. We're going to have an even better one once it upgrades as well. So we will move straight on. Cool. Looks like we can just pretty much ignore most of these movements. I'm just gonna fast forward it again. That army of the dwarves isn't recruiting anymore actually, so we should be fine in that regard. Maybe we can just destroy these settlements and peace out with the dwarves and carry on elsewhere. Because I do kind of want to attack maybe the vampires. I think the vampires would be best to kill off just because of the vampiric corruption. If we let them get too big, they'll just be a pain in the bum. So 1 turn, Temple of Cairns and the hall is complete. That will be complete actually before the rebel army does attack us, so that's good. Calacairn. It says that this is going to be closer than it probably is. We completely outnumber them. I am probably just going to auto-resolve that. That's an odd one because I've seen battles which should have been way closer on the battle bar that just aren't. And in this case, that would have been an easy win, but it said that it would have been harder. Right, we're going to raise that. Take that good old cash. And we will colonize it. And we will build the Astray Lookout. Okay. Durthu has leveled up. I wanted to go towards Nature's South, but I don't think we need to get it on him just yet. I'm going to finish off with the Forest Roar. And then I'm very tempted to go towards the Eye of Cairns, getting the extra missile damage. Or what we could do instead is head up here towards Deadly Onslaught. I don't feel like this magic, the Curse of Anrahia, or the Transformation of Kadon, is actually very good. You can spawn a Manticore, but Manticores aren't great. I don't like Manticores that much. The Amber Spear is okay. Pan's Impenetrable Pelt is okay. Increasing Flock of Doom is pretty nice. The extended effect duration and cast range. But yeah, a lot of these spells just aren't really worth having. He already has Wisdom's Wild Form and Wild Heart naturally, so he doesn't actually have to go up there to get those. We also have Katra, who provides a lot of the magic anyway. We're going to continue with Violent Delights here. Currently on 452% weapon strength. We'll be going up to 482, which is a lot for a branch wraith. Not going to do any research this turn. Settlement upgrade is available. I think I'm just going to go for it. And if they pop up some Beastman armies nearby, then I'll just have to bring Durthu back. Because we have plenty of amber to actually make this upgrade happen. And it does improve our Untainted and Public Order and so on. I think it... Wow, it actually reduces our upkeep quite significantly. Excuse me. Minus 10% upkeep for all units. I completely forgot about that. Revan the Grey saying, my favourite part from his Ghoul campaign is when he took control of the ballistas and catapults and manually pelted hordes of dudes while his legionaries held the line. Yeah, I do remember that. I believe there was quite a lot of friendly fire involved when it came to that, because often the shots would go off in random directions, but it was very amusing for sure. Doug says, the missile damage seems really good. Nothing more than satisfying than melting people with arrows. Yeah, I know, right? Like watching like a rain of arrows come down onto like a melee and then like blood goes everywhere. It's pretty damn satisfying. Talibek land has been destroyed. That must have been the vampires, I'm thinking. Actually, it might have been Varg. Wow, he's already got authoritarian. +3 public order in the local province. That's really good for us, actually. Alright, so now we can do Kenos the Hunter because we've unlocked that. That will allow us to go towards Lilith the Maiden and get Assyrian, which will help us out with the diplomatic relations with dwarves, which is really good actually. The extra 20% income from buildings will help out a little bit with our income. We are kind of going overboard a little bit with our income at the moment. Let's go ahead and get that waystone built up. Love how cheap the buildings are to make. So yeah, we should have that done. Maybe we can jump over to Karakangazar and wreck that. There's like literally no garrison there. They do have an army, but it will probably get destroyed. Cool, let's move on to the next turn. Colin says, hey Vulcan, thanks for these and your Steel Division stuff, really enjoy it. No problem, Colin. Glad you enjoy the content. I really appreciate you guys coming along to watch the streams. And of course, if you're watching this as a VOD as well, then always much appreciated.